So I've been focusing my studies on astrology for children. I think that's just my calling, understanding children and all that it entails as human beings. I have a journey that I'm actually writing a book about that kind of highlights how I discovered that knowing the astrology of my child, the natal chart, actually was the pivoting moment of helping me get through a really hard time with my last born. And I think it's missed knowledge that parents would otherwise not know. I didn't know. And all the times I Googled trying to find answers, I just felt I was going mad and I was crazy. When in reality, this is just an untouched, hidden gem of knowledge that knowing this would help so many mothers out there. That's why I started giving giving natal charts readings for children and calling it a child's guide, because it truly is a guide to help you raise your child. But astrology is not the normal way of looking at it when it comes to babies and children. There's a specific way you have to read the chart when you're dealing with a baby. And so that's what I've been specializing in with my certification on astrology, which I'm in the middle of. But I wanted to zero in my focus on children and offering services to help other mothers understand their babies or get through some hard times with their children. You know, studying my daughter's chart really helped us get through some hard times with her teenage years. Discovering my last born and his natal chart really helped through the colicky newborn stage, because the way you read it really gets you to understand that the child's a human being. You don't have to fix them. Too often we're looking at our children and saying we need to teach them to do this, be this, when in reality God already created them the way they are. This is who they are. You're just gonna do more damage and be more frustrated trying to teach them how to sleep train, or teach them how to sleep through the night, teach them how to not hit, teach them how to be good. Instead, you work with who they are, their personality, some challenges that they're born with because of their natal chart and who they are as a unique cosmic individual. So for example, my youngest, he's water and earth, very emotional, very angry emotional, short-tempered, very strong-willed, stubborn. But that's who he is, and it's going to benefit him when he's an adult. But the downside is when he's a child, when he's a baby, those are the hardships that he would go through and goes through that I also partake in. And learning about who he is and realizing that this is what I have to work with, but seeing the benefit to it. He is more emotional, but the benefit to that is there's a fix. You just need to give him more of your time. You need to connect with him more than you otherwise would with your air child. So once I figured those things out, it was a turning point for me. And that's when I just started diving deep in astrology for children and offering that to moms that are just going through the same turmoil that I went through. Giving them a handbook, a guidebook to get through it. This is the way your baby communicates. This is their love language. You can know all that stuff as a newborn. You don't have to wait till they're an adult to figure that out. It's right there in the cosmos. And just having that at a mother's fingertips would be a godsend. And here's the High Priestess. It's popped out while I was talking to you. This is sacred knowledge, divine femininity, inner knowing, spirituality, higher power, just that inner voice, all that the high priestess represents. And you're thinking of the femininity, which we all have some femininity in us, even boys, and letting them tap into that and harnessing that, because that side is what makes him super clingy to me, super emotional, and I don't want to try to stifle that. I don't want to try to blow that out. You want to work with that, or you do really a lot of damage to them, trying to stop the colickiness, stop the crying, stop the clinginess. You do more damage when you're trying to blow that out and stifle it. So eventually I'm hoping to just dedicate a channel just for childhood astrology, call it something, but where I just give some tips about our children throughout the week during different stages of the moon and the sun. You know, full moon coming, what tendencies should you expect from our children? Especially if it's like a fire moon, you can expect your fire children to be, you know, possibly a certain way. And just dedicating that channel to that for my children, for other moms and parents, I think that would be really helpful. And I feel called to do that because I have the knowledge, and nothing is worse than having knowledge to help other people and just keeping it all to yourself. And I've never been one that does that. If I know anything, I always have the natural, immediate desire to share it, even for no profit. That's just the way I've always been. I love to share love and knowledge and give of myself. And that's had some downsides, you know, being that personality since I was born, a people pleaser. People take advantage of it. You get manipulated, gaslit. So I've had to learn throughout my life how to harness that natural desire for me to please everybody I meet and control it and give it to those that deserve it only, or know what platform to be on to share the knowledge. There's just a lot, and I think creating a space for that is something I feel that I should do. So be on the lookout for that. If that applies to you, then I would encourage you go ahead and follow. I've not created it yet, but it's definitely in the works while I finalize my certification and start thinking about the next steps, as well as finish my book.